With the release of Jordan Peele's Nope, the director has proven himself to be one of the most exciting horror directors in recent memory. With 3 highly original and captivating films in a row, the time has come where people are starting to try and connect the dots between the 3 films. While the stories all share certain aspects thematically, I want to take a look at some aspects across all 3 films that hint towards a larger shared universe, as well as what the future of Jordan Peele's filmography might contain. I think the best place to start with all of this would be with Peele's first, critically acclaimed and Best Picture nominated film, Get Out. In Get Out, Chris goes to meet the Armitage family, who his girlfriend Rose has brought to meet for the first time. Come to find out, Chris is being auctioned off as a replacement body for the rich friends and family of the Armitages. We also find out that the Armitage family is part of an ancient group trying to preserve their lives. In an interview with Jordan Peele, he says that the Armitages are descendants of the Knights Templar, whose main goal in life was to find the Holy Grail, so that way they can achieve immortality. The plot of Get Out isn't quite the key to immortality, but it's certainly a way to preserve your life another few decades. This leads us to Peele's second film, Us. The plot of Us revolves around the Tethered, a group of clones of people on the surface. We don't learn too much about the Tethered, but we learn they were an experiment in the 80s as an attempt to control the public. But the project was abandoned and the Tethered were left to rot in the underground tunnels of the United States. Well, this theory poses that the Armitage family, and by extension the Knights Templar, were the ones responsible for the clones in the 80s, hoping that they could clone themselves and transfer their consciousness to other bodies when theirs were no longer viable. Though there were clearly some complications with the cloning process, so they scrapped this idea, leading them down a different process, the process we see being done in Get Out. While this is just a theory, it's interesting to see if we'll ever get more of a concrete connection in a future Peele film. The most recent Jordan Peele film, Nope, doesn't have anything to do with the Knights Templar, at least that we know of, but it does have a solid connection to Us. It's small, but it's certainly present, and that's the fast food restaurant Copperpot's Cove. This isn't a real restaurant in our world, but it does exist in both Us and Nope. There's also a pair of gold scissors in Jupe's room that he shows to OJ and Emerald, but I think this is more of just an Easter egg than anything. All 3 of Jordan Peele's films are vastly different from one another, and I respect the fact that he's working on telling individual stories with shared themes, but all of them in a different setting, exploring a different aspect of horror. But it seems to me that the seeds are starting to be planted for a larger shared universe between all of Peele's films. Jordan Peele himself actually seems to be encouraging this thought process. When somebody pointed out that Copperpot's Cove is in both Us and Nope, Peele said, "I try to make all my films in the same universe. This universe, reality. I think there are certain ways in which the movie world diverges from our reality, like the fast food chain Copperpot's Cove. That doesn't really exist, but it's in Us and it's also in Nope. So people may be led to connect and wonder if Nope and Us exist in the same universe. Those are speculations I am happy to let people make." He was also happy to let people speculate on if we'll ever get a crossover film between Get Out and Us, saying anything is possible. With Jordan Peele not flat out agreeing or disagreeing with people about his films being connected, I actually think that's a good indication that they are connected in some way, shape, or form, and that someday we may actually see a sequel to one or all of his films starring different characters that have already been introduced. It may take some years, but I could easily see his films connecting the same way or a similar way that Unbreakable, Split, and Glass are all connected. While I've gone over several reasons how all of Jordan Peele's films could be connected, I think it's only fair to give some reasons why they could not be in a shared universe. Number 1 is that there's no obvious callouts to any previous or future films. We didn't get any hints that Nope would be the film that comes after Us, and we didn't hear anything about the Tethered in Nope, which would be a pretty hard thing to miss considering how large scale the story of Us was. Us quite literally stretched across the entire United States and was something that would surely affect every single person in any of Peele's stories. That being said, just because Us was Jordan Peele's second film doesn't mean that his films take place chronologically. We know that all of these films take place primarily in modern day, and that Get Out and Us take place over the course of only a few days, but Nope takes place over the course of several months. It would be easy to assume that Get Out and Nope could be happening concurrently, at least at some point, but perhaps Us takes place after both of these films. Another aspect of this hypothetical Peele universe that may not hold up is actually Daniel Kaluuya, who plays both Chris and O.J. Haywood in Get Out and Nope respectively. How could this one actor play two different characters, especially if there was going to be a crossover film and Chris and OJ would meet each other? That wouldn't make much sense, unless Jordan made a film about clones with different personalities. If only that was something that already happened. Oh wait, it is. Now, this is something I haven't seen online as of the time of this recording, so if you see this theory before this video, you can safely assume somebody stole it out of my brain Inception style, but with Daniel Kaluuya playing two different characters in two different Jordan Peele films, perhaps either Chris or OJ was once a tethered. I know that we saw all the tethered in the underground, and Adelaide's tethered escaped and switched places with her, but if there was a tethered for everyone in the US, there's bound to be some cases of escaped tethered and scenarios like this, right? In Nope, OJ was very clearly born into this ranching family alongside his sister, but in Get Out, Chris tells us that his father was never around, and his mother died when he was young. Perhaps Chris's mother found Chris when he was still a tethered and raised him so that he didn't know any different.
Or perhaps it really is OJ, who seems very quiet and reserved for someone born into a family of outgoing and charismatic people. OJ also seems to get along better with animals rather than anyone else, and all of this sounds a lot like the characteristics of a tethered.
Now, that's a pretty outlandish theory, I understand that, but if Jordan Peele was ever setting up a sequel for really any of his first three films, I think this is certainly a plausible route he could take. That being said, what's in store for the future of Jordan Peele's films? Peele has already cemented himself as a very secretive filmmaker. We didn't even know that Nope was going to be about aliens until about a month ago. Whatever Peele's next film is, we won't know anything about it until it hits our screens or very close to it. Perhaps Peele's next film will be a sequel to one of his first three films, or something else highly original. If I were to take a guess, I think that Jordan Peele is on a hot streak and he knows it. Sure, everyone's opinions are differ as to which film is his best, but I don't think anybody can say any of his films are absolutely terrible. I do think that Peele's next film is going to be something completely original once again, and if he were ever to make a sequel film, it's not going to be for a few years. Maybe Peele will never make a sequel or give us any concrete evidence that his films are connected together, but if he does, I'm sure it's going to be something highly creative and original with a strong theme and mystery element that ties the entire movie or movies together. Until the director denies it and stops giving us bits of evidence and theories here and there, then I will continue to hold out hope for a sequel of any kind or confirmation of a shared universe. Tell me your thoughts on Jordan Peele's films in the comments below and what your favorite is, as well as an idea of what you'd want to see him cover next. Remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content like this. If you do, then I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.